Okay, so this is a quick walkthrough for the assignment titled Gapminder DTM and Population Pyramid Activity. If you go to the Canvas page and click on assignments, you'll see that listed there. And first you'll read the directions on the assignment link below and complete the assignment. Once you finish, take a picture of both pages and upload them to the assignment. So once you click on the link, it'll download and you can open that document up and it will look something like this. So the first thing you need to do is click on this link right here. I'll move this over to the side so we can get a better view. And it'll take you to this link, a link to this page right here, gapminder.org or gapminderworld.org. So first things first, let's go to the y-axis. Click on that. And under search, we can type in crude birth rate. And it should show up pretty quickly. So then I'm going to go to the x-axis. Type in crude death rate, and right there. All right, so there we go. Now down here you can see the years, and you can actually take this tab and move it over, and you can see how the relationship between crude birth rates and crude death rates have changed over time, and how both have dramatically declined, especially in recent years. All right, so number 4, on the right of the chart, you'll see a place to select certain countries. Highlight the countries listed in the table below by checking their box. All right, easy enough. So let's look at Morocco. We'll type in Morocco, and if you check that mark right there, you'll see that Morocco is now highlighted. So what you'll do is highlight over here, and we'll type in for crude birth rate 20.4 and crude death rate 5.12. Now, in order to find a natural rate of increase, you'll have to do some calculations. So if you go to the PowerPoint and look at slide 17, natural rate of increase calculated by taking crude birth rate, subtracting crude death rate, and dividing it by 1,000. So let's look at the calculator here. Clear that off the screen. All right, so easy enough. I want to do 20.4 minus and let's double check that, yeah, minus 5.12, and we get 15.28. So let's divide that by 1,000, and we get a decimal. It should be changed into a percentage. So if we transform that into a percentage, 1.53%. All right, pretty simple to find GDP per capita. Let's go over here to the search tab on y-axis, GDP per capita, if I can spell it correctly. And it should be the first option here, GDP per capita, PPPWB. All right, now we got Morocco here again, 7130. So let's make sure that we know that this is in US dollars, 7130, and there you go. All right, now the next part, the demographic transition stage, is a little bit more difficult and requires you to use some intuition and research. So let's go back to the PowerPoint and we scroll down to slide 29. Titled Demographic Transition Model. So you'll need to line up the crude birth rate and the crude death rates on this model in order to estimate what particular stage Morocco is in. So here are death rates, here are birth rates. So this should be pretty simple once we kind of get the feel of things. 20.4, so let's look at 20. If we move over to the right, once birth rates hit 20.4, we are in the latter half of 3, late expanding age of the model. And then 5.2, 5.12 is roughly right here. So while it doesn't fit perfectly with the model, it does sort of help us make a guess as to what stage Morocco is in, and what it looks to me is late stage 3. So you can just put stage 3 there. You should be able to do this for those other countries. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask. Make sure you read these directions thoroughly. Click on deselect all in the box where where the countries are listed, then check two of the countries listed above. Move the year back to 1950, then press play. What you should have is an illustration of how two countries pass through the demographic transition, or where they currently are. Next, make the y-axis income per person, GDP per capita. Record the results in the table above. So we went through that already. Finally, make a conclusion as to what stage country is currently in. Okay, so the next portion of this activity should be relatively easy to do. You have the total population here, up here at the top under population pyramids. Iran's total population roughly 81.82427. So you should be able to calculate this pretty easily. So we want to know the number of people that are females between the ages of 0 and 14 and male of the same portion of population. We should at least have a decent understanding of how to change this into a percentage. So let's do 9,449,716 divided by 81,824,270. And we get a rough percentage here. We can type that in here easily. 11.5%. All right, once you get all these numbers filled up, you'll then draw a line to represent that percentage. So this line will go from, of course, 0% all the way over to 11.5. In order to do that, it's pretty simple. Insert shape. Let's do a box here. And there's roughly I'll send this to the back so you can see. The number. All right, easy enough. Hopefully that should answer any questions, but if you do have additional questions, feel free to ask. If you, again, if you need help, I'll be more than happy to help, and I'll see you soon.